No one's going to feel sorry for you. It's a tough world out there. You're not going to be given anything. So become an expert.
I am the only window covering person in that organization, and I reach 800 realtors.
Here's my 5-star lock of the week, Will. Change how you respond to 5-star reviews.
I love the idea of upselling, right? You already got them on the hook. And now if you can walk out with 10% more than you thought you'd get, or, something like that, it's a fantastic growth strategy for your business.
Our average ticket for the last 6 months is up about 15%. We were in the $4,400 average ticket. We're now in that a hair over 5,000, 5,200 area, which I think is just people are buying nicer stuff.
It's time for another episode of Marketing Pains, the podcast about marketing for window treatment and awning companies.
All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Marketing Pains, the podcast where we talk with real window treatment and awning service providers or business owners about their strengths, about their successes and struggles related to marketing their business. Today is our Q2 preview. We're going to talk about what happened in Q1. We're going to talk about what we think is coming up in Q2. I've got two guests with some great insights that I'm excited to interview. First of all, we got Joe Kendall, president of Made in the Shades Eastern Shore. Joe owns Kendall Furniture, a Made in the Shade dealership. He went from 58th place to 5th place in the Made in the Shade franchise, then 2nd place, and in 2024 became the #1 volume dealer in North America. Joe, thanks for being on the show today.
You're very welcome. We're happy to be here.
Thank you. We've also got Ryan Gilberts. Ryan owns Shaded Window Coverings in Montana. Shaded window covering started in May 2022 after Ryan was working for some other businesses in the window covering industry over the last 10 years. He first started in the industry as a part-time installer, then moved to lead installer position and eventually a hybrid role of installer and salesperson. Now, almost 3 years later, there's really no turning back. He's just started his largest 6-figure project, 1,900 shades for an apartment building under construction. Ryan, thank you for joining as well.
Thanks, Will.
1,900. So you're going to be a little bit busy, I guess, for at least the next couple of days, right?
Fortunately, it's being built out in stages.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Congrats on that. So I want to start by talking about some different industry trends. What emerging trends are you guys seeing in the industry right now? And how can other window treatment dealers kind of align with these trends to stay competitive?
Brian, I think what you're doing is, Ryan and I spoke a little bit beforehand, Will, and we really love that the exterior market is exploding. And, you need to make sure you're talking to your clients because they don't know all the cool things you know as far as that goes. I was talking to Ryan and we were discussing how you might go into a customer wants to get some roller shades up on 4 windows that are consecutive, and you leave the house with a exterior roller shade motorized. So they're beautiful indoor, their trim on the inside is left alone. It's gorgeous, and they can have that true builder look, but yet get the results they need when they need them. I think the exterior, and people, great too, I think they expect to pay more for exterior blinds. And it's with the warranties that some of these manufacturers are offering, it's really a great way to go.
Yeah, I got to agree on that too.
Yeah, I like that. Ryan, are you seeing something similar?
I like the exterior products. They're definitely a little bit more sleek, but they're definitely a touch more expensive than some people anticipate. But the cool thing is there's a vast majority of dealers, or I should say vendors, that are starting to manufacture those and get into the market. So I don't think price point's all going to be all that.
I know when we talked with some of our guests on the Q1 podcast that we had talked about, they mentioned the luxury buyers are really popping up more. Are you guys seeing that as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our average ticket for the last 6 months is up about 15%.
Okay.
Good.
We were in the $4,400 average ticket. We're now in that a hair over 5,000, 5,200 area, which I think is just people are buying nicer stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And when I started in this industry as the marketing guy, about 7 years ago, we niched down specifically just to the window treatment and awning industry. The average job was $2,500, $3,000.
Right.
So
yeah,
obviously part of that is I guess you could say inflation, but also I think it's just people are buying better quality stuff.
And, you know, there was always, go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying absolutely. But I would probably say a year ago, I kind of crossed over that bridge with Hunter Douglas and became one of their dealers. But I will say that going into that bridge or going into that realm of the market and being able to offer those very high quality products, my ticket sales have definitely increased tremendously. And I'm also getting a lot of those larger ticket deals and showing them the cool stuff, I guess you can say.
You know, I train, we have 2 full-time salespeople, and I still train them and remind them of the famous, you know, Bloomingdale's 3 bread maker stories about a good, better, best versus just a good or a best. And, you know, I encourage my people that when they're presenting a product, and let's say they're talking about a Roman shade or they're talking about a roller shade, and you pop out a Hunter Douglas vignette, you know, I'm a big believer in telling the client straight up, hey, this is a more expensive product. There's a decent chance, you know, the average salesperson might think, oh God, they're going to be bummed. But really they go, oh, cool, this is what I want. And you know, that I always like to tell people, because obviously if a roller shade was $49, we'd sell everybody we talk to, but not being afraid of the more expensive products and sharing with your customer, hey, look, this is a more expensive product, but let me tell you why and what you get. And then it's like, well, this makes perfect sense. Selling higher up, it takes work, but if you do it right, it really, really can pay off.
I got to agree with you on that. Definitely education with your customers or clients is, I think, going to make you stand above the crowd and definitely show your worth, and then also get those larger ticket items.
Definitely.
Well, I love the idea of upselling, right? You already got them on the hook. And now if you can walk out with 10% more than you thought you'd get, or, you know, something like that, it's a fantastic growth strategy for your business. You know,
I'm going to share a quick story if I could, Will. When I first started selling 35 years ago, I was selling roofs, and my closing ratio was excellent, but my gross profit was just barely average. So the owner says, Joe, I want you to go out to dinner tonight with Zeke, who's our highest profit guy. He makes $1,000 or more than you a week. He's going to teach you how to sell higher. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to change everything. We go out to happy hour, we're drinking. Long story short, we get to midnight, we're at 7-Eleven, we've had some cocktails. And I said, Zeke, we're going to be in deep trouble. You didn't train me tonight. And we ran up the owner's credit card. So Zeke can barely stand up, and he asked the cashier, he says, for a napkin and a pen. And I said, sure. So Zeke goes, here you go. On a 20 square roof, what's your opening price? I said, well, I usually start around $4,200. Zeke burps up some beer and says, okay, try it again, but this time instead of writing a 4 down, write a 5. And the moral of the story is just open up a little higher and you'll get more, it'll make a higher sale. It's that simple. Just start a little higher. And I always remind people, you can't go up, but you can go down. So that's one of my favorite training stories.
I love that. And you were able to write the night off on the it's training. Cool. That's great. I love to hear that. So quick disclaimer, both of you guys are clients of Window Treatment Marketing Pros. So you guys are obviously, you know, doing the SEO stuff, doing the paid ads. I wanted to talk a little bit more about professional connections, local networking, those kinds of things. What are you guys doing in that area to help generate leads and maybe even longer term relationships?
Go ahead, Ryan.
To generate leads, I mean, I'm talking to the sphere of people that I hang out with. I'm pretty fortunate with the area in Montana that I'm at. We have a lot more cattle than we do people. So the people that I'm dealing with are going to be a lot of business owners. The 1900 shade project that I got was due to one of my good buddies that is doing all the dirt work for this project. He just simply sent a text and said, who does all your shades? Call this guy. So it's really the sphere of people that I'm dealing with, but also kind of going back to what Joe was just saying about getting those higher ticket items, dealing with those larger, more expensive products. It's actually the word of mouth of those people. You know, I'm giving them good, solid products, great service, and they're just talking to more people. As far as the marketing aspect goes, that you can actually pinpoint where your dollars are going. I still do local marketing. I don't know if you guys have Valpak over on the East Coast or what have you, but Valpak is one of them. I'm in with a lot of magazines for top realtors and also in magazines that just strictly market the top 1% of homeowners in the area. And I also do TV commercials.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the old saying that, half of my advertising works. I just don't know which half, but I know this plug for Will's works.
Yep.
So without a doubt, one of the things, we're talking to people in the industry. I simply, for sake of a better term, pay off real estate agents that are sitting in a new neighborhood. It's just what I do. There's a neighborhood and I went and talked to and gave them, there's a great restaurant company in town that has about 10 awesome restaurants. One gift card, I gave them each a $500 gift card. And people might think that's a lot, but all I got to do is get one purchase and I'm even. And I love giving that gift so big that now they feel guilty. Like they have to get me referrals now. They're the ones that are like, oh my God. So I love real estate agents. Word of mouth is the big thing. I love taking every service call that we should charge $100 for and not charging them and telling the people we should charge you. But if you get me a referral or you meet somebody who's talking about window coverings, just make sure you pass my name along. Since you saved them $200, now they feel the guilt where we got to find Joe a referral. So I love doing that. One thing too, this is going to be the basketball going on. You've heard the 5-star lock of the week, the team you have to bet on. Here's my 5-star lock of the week, Will. Change how you respond to 5-star reviews. Don't say thank you. Don't say, obviously say thank you, but use that review time, the response, to sell. Hey, we really love Tom, the installer. He was great. Hey, that's awesome. Tom, like all of our installers, is completely certified and has been with us for X amount of time. Tom's been through 4 certifications and XYZ and loves his job. Thank you for mentioning him. So when people are reading that, they go, oh, these guys got good people. Or, wow, I love the shutters. And don't forget, all of our products have a lifetime warranty. So if you have a problem, please call us. Put in your responses to your Google reviews, selling words, Hey, I'm so happy we could get that installed within your quick timeline. Oh, they do stuff quick. So people are reading their reviews, but they're also going to read your responses. So that's my 50-star pointer, I guess, of this podcast is to change how you do your reviews. And do not use AI to do it for you. Be personal. You can be more personal. And again, though, you can sell. You got a chance because people are going to read reviews. So make them read stuff that you want to tell them. Yeah. That's all.
I love that. It's a missed opportunity if you just say thank you.
Let me touch base on that review. I love it. I'm a very personable person when it comes to my reviews. I give, hey, Cheryl, thank you so much for the great review. It's been extraordinary working with you, getting your automated roller shades or automated honeycomb shades up for you. But it's also, and I only have one of these, a 4-star review. It's how you respond to those. I mean, So I've been in business for a short time, 2022. Customer gave me a 4-star review because it freezes here. And my spackle was frozen that morning to fill in the old screw holes of his vertical blind. That's why I got a 4-star review. I responded back with, let me come and earn that 5th star.
Right.
He never changed his review, but he's bought 4 more times since then.
Okay.
So that 4th star haunts me.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. That's great. And I love the idea of being personal about it, and replying to each of those individually. AI can get a little dry on it. Obviously, also an opportunity to use certain keywords and locations. We really enjoyed installing the window treatments in your Chesterfield home, something like that, where it doesn't violate any privacy type stuff, but you do get the name of the place in there as well.
Mention the neighborhood, Will. Good point.
Yeah. Very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about expansion. So when it comes to reaching out in your particular area, you have a little bit of an advantage because you're located in that area. And especially Ryan, I'm assuming in Montana, cities are maybe a little bit further apart than they are for Joe, right? So how do you handle expansion or driving a certain distance? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I probably cover a 2-hour span from, my location around. So I try to group all my appointments. Sometimes it works out, but I mean, hey, I'll go over to this part of the neck of the woods and we'll get a few appointments done that day. We'll go over to the next part of the neck of the woods. So we'll do that. But I mean, we're getting a lot more. You can go into the bigger cities and I call them the cities, but it'll be a little bit more solid people. Like you can walk through neighborhoods and things like that still. It's not, you're not going on a 40-acre ranch or a 3,000-acre ranch and every house that you go to.
Yeah.
A lot of the communities that we're in, they are going to be in your, I would say, $900,000 to $1.5 million homes when they're in neighborhoods like that. So they are typically a solid appointment.
I like that. I like how you stack them together,
Yeah.
a couple
You
in
have
one
to.
area. Yeah. Especially when you're traveling that far.
For sure.
Yeah. Joe, what about you? Obviously things are a little bit more compact in your area, but I know you just added another location. Tell us about that.
So we added a second location. The way our town is set up, our area is set up is we're up against the Atlantic Ocean. So we do half circles. We don't do full circles, So, but there's a really wealthy part, and I opened up on the street to that wealthy neighborhood area with the idea of getting some stop-in traffic and things like that. And we're also showing higher-end goods there. We're not showing faux blinds, in that location. So far, so good. We're making the so-called nut, but it's like anything. It's repetition, customers seeing and hearing about your name and so forth. One nice thing I love about the Made in the Shade is we're purple and gray with a tint of yellow. So purple signs kind of stand out a little bit, but it's a classic. A lot of people who are, nothing wrong with this, but who are trunk slammers and they want to go to that first store. I was mentoring a Made in the Shade dealer and I was like, well, what hours are you going to be open before you expand? And they said, oh, we're going to go 9 to 2 and be closed on Saturday and Sunday. And my response was, you're either going to be a retailer or you're not going to be a retailer. And retailers are open 7 days a week and depending on your town till 7 o'clock at night. And they're like, oh, whoa, that we don't want to do all that. And I was like, well, then you don't want to have a store. You don't want to become a retailer. I don't know, Will, if that was more what you were thinking about, like when to expand and so forth.
Sure.
For us, I looked at it like an advertising spend. It's going to cost me $5,000 a month to have that store with the people and everything. And I figured, well, hell, $5,000 a month, a billboard is, in my neighborhood, is $1,500 a month. So it's like buying 2 or 3 billboards, but I'll have a physical person. I'll be on the main drag. So there's a lot to think about before expansion, obviously. But
Sure. Yeah. But there's the nice thing about the window treatment industry is the average job is fairly high, as we mentioned earlier. So it doesn't take a lot to make that money back.
No.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about partnerships, collaborations. Is there anything that you guys are doing that would be beneficial to the listeners around, similar to what you said, Joe, with the real estate people? Anything else like that?
If there's new construction in your area, get after those agents that are sitting the house. That's your bread and butter. Hey, hi, Will. It's nice to meet you. How long have you been with NVR Homes? Hey, where's your place? Do you have plantation shutters? Would you like to get plantation shutters? And I always say, hey, my manufacturer gives me some leeway on some sample products. I love to put some sample products in 10 of your windows. We've done that before for people and put plantation shutters in their house. That was in a neighborhood that we got 23 jobs from. It's just the best $3,000 I ever spent. So I'm a big believer in the real estate agents. I'm a big believer in having someone like Will do your Google buy. I respond, Will ask me a question and I'll say, Will, you're the pro, buddy. It's working so far. Don't ask me. You got that covered. But that's my one thing I would say is that's where it's at. A $100 gift card or a $50 gift card doesn't do anything. Go to $500. That's my tip of the day. Second tip of the day.
I'll go off that. There's an organization here in town called MOR for Kids. So Missoula Organization of Realtors. And it's a nonprofit for kids. And I am the only window covering person in that organization. And I reach 800 realtors. There's 800 realtors in the Missoula County. It's just insane. But I'm the one window covering guy, and I'm there competing in all their nonprofit organizations. And it's fun for me. We do a charity kickball tournament. We do a charity golf tournament. And we do a winter gala. I get the most donations in the kickball tournament. My team typically always wins in the golf tournament. And last year, I spent the most at the charity, and I got the most awards. So that's kind of how I
Fantastic.
shotgun blast my name out there.
Yep, I love it.
That's really cool.
They all call me Shady Ryan for a reason.
I love it. I like that. Shady
That's
Ryan. I
great.
like that.
And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you're supporting something, right? So there's that whole PR side of things too, where you can get a little bit of that out there.
Exactly.
And Ryan's right on with what's your realtor association name, Ryan?
MOR.
Okay.
Missoula
Yeah, so we have the
Organization of
Coastal
Realtors.
Association of Realtors. There you go. Every town you're in has an association of realtors, and you can be what's called a whatever kind of member you are, Ryan. It's not accessory
affiliate.
member, but it has a name that means you're not a realtor. Thank you very much, Ryan. Yeah, you're an affiliate member. And with that, Ryan, you also get emails, phone numbers for every realtor in town. So
Exactly.
lots of marketing you can do with that.
Wow.
And also
That's awesome.
building industry associations.
Yes. Ryan, I'm going to get off this podcast here, and I'm going to figure out how I can get a commercial job like that. My biggest commercial job so far is 17 roller shades at a restaurant. But that kind of stuff gets me excited. That gets me wound up.
Yeah. We got 3 more coming in.
That's great. Joe, I saw your brain ticking back there.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You can actually see my brain right here. There it is.
Yeah. So cool. We talked about kind of collaborations and partnerships. Let's switch and talk about the customer. What do you guys do to help build those relationships when it comes to getting into the home or even before you get into the home?
So I'll go first this
I'll
time,
start.
Ryan.
Just kidding, Joe. You got it.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So the like to send a video or two. If it's a shutter job, we like to send a video or two. Like to send a link to our 5-star reviews beforehand. And then we do try to give a gift. Right now we're giving away, it costs us about $40, but it's a custom made cardboard box. I might have shown this to you, Will. It's a custom made cardboard box, purple and yellow paper, and it has 4 rocks glasses in it, and they're each engraved. A palm tree, a setting sun. I can't remember the other 2, but given that as a gift, and really, you're not going to get anything unless you ask for it. And when we give that gift, we like to say, hey, look, anybody ever talks about us, and the thing is the kind of cool thing is anytime they get those glasses out and they have guests over, hopefully I'll come up in conversation. So that's what we're really trying to, I've come up with the idea of, a $10 Starbucks card. I mean, if they lose that, who cares? But something that has value in their eyes, that's what we're going after for a gift when we ask those customers for the review and for the referrals.
That's great.
So-
Love that. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah. So as far as gifts go, I do hey, if you know of anyone that needs window coverings, I'll give a little gift card, or not a gift card, but a little postcard. And there's 3 options, like a $50 gift card to Amazon, or a $100 gift card to a steakhouse that I did all their shades in, or I have another $100 gift card to another buddy that owns a tap house. So kind of something like that. It's supporting my customers already and also trying to get more customers out there. But before I get into a house, the biggest thing that I've come to find out, because I'll tell you guys, because you see me on a screen, I'm 6'5" and 285 pounds. I'm not a small person. So I always send an appointment reminder to people with this ugly mug and saying, hey, I'm going to be at your doorstep. It takes a lot of hesitation off of people.
Do you have like a height thing? Like you're like in a 7-Eleven doorway showing them how tall you are?
I should, but we don't need that.
Yeah.
Goodness. I love it.
I love the tips that you guys have shared. I think those are great. Ryan, you mentioned the Amazon card. If somebody came to my house selling something and they mentioned that, I guarantee my wife would be all over that. I mean, she's
Right.
just ordering stuff every day off of there. So it's interesting how far that can go. For not a big spend. All right. So one other thing I wanted to ask about challenges and maybe some solutions. What kind of challenges are you guys seeing out there when you're trying to build those connections, grow your network? And for other people listening, maybe what are some ways that they could overcome those?
So I can go because I'm the youngest probably in the industry on this podcast right now, as far as being in business. My biggest thing is obviously competing against the bigger names. Fortunately, I don't have a Made in the Shade in my local area, but I do have that other cheap-ish company that hasn't stepped up in the realm of quality and customer service. But I always get with the realtors or with this other person like, hey, we had such and such company already do our shades. We already had this company do them. I already know this guy. So, I mean, that's my biggest hesitation. But then I come in and say, hey, you know what? That's actually a shade that we also are a dealer for. I can get that replaced for you, no problem. Get you warranty issue taken care of, no problem. Because my competition didn't want to call back or show up for a warranty appointment.
Great. Joe, how about you?
So one of the things that one of my salespeople came to me with and were like, how do I, bigger is better. Bigger means that they have more buying power. And I said, you know how to handle that question right there? How can I compete against 23rd day blinds, or how can I compete against those guys? If you're a small company, you say, you know what, it's really, people probably wonder, how can I compete against those big guys? And be honest, say, yeah, they probably buy the blinds for less than I do. But last time I checked, we don't have a regional sales manager, a regional divisional manager. We don't have a regional vice president. We don't have an office in Chicago. We don't have this. We don't have that. I pay the same kind of bills they pay, but mine have a lot less zeros. So if you want someone that really knows the industry and can really save you money, work with someone small and local. We're here for you. And once you learn that objection, to get over that objection, the sky's the limit. And that's something that really, I always tell our people, remind them that, there's only 6 of us in the company. We don't have we don't take retreats to Orlando to talk about how we're going to sell this year. And we might go out to Outback Steakhouse, but that's about it. But anyway, that's something that I think that people should get over when they're a smaller company, when you're a one-person operation. Is just remind them, you don't have regional vice presidents and director of sales and all that crud. So that's the biggest thing, I think, is because that's what they're selling against you as. Oh, they're so small. They're so small, they can't compete against us. That's what they're saying. So say the exact opposite.
Yeah, I like that. When it comes to challenges, how about technology? How does that work in your world?
Ryan, lead boomerang, right, buddy?
Well, I'm not really into the lead boomerang, to be honest with you. I have used it. It's just another thing. I do Solitech and QuickBooks. So, I still have the lead boomerang and it still transfers over into the Solitech. I'm just not in lead boomerang daily. I mean, I'm a 2-man operation. I'm very mobile. I don't have a storefront. I do have a office, but I'm not at it every day. So I'm out on the streets. If I'm in the office, I'm not really making money, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. How about you, Joe?
So for me, the lead boomerang is everything. I can look at it. I can see calls that come in. With the lead boomerang customer tracking, I spend about 3 to 5 minutes in the morning updating our opportunity board. Today, so far, we've gotten 5 phone calls. They're all new leads. With using lead boomerang and letting customers know, hey, the product's been ordered. Hey, the product's been shipped. Hey, it's here. We have totally sliced and diced the incoming phone calls. Where's my blind at? I was wondering when I was just curious. Those days are over for us. And I also have a second job running a furniture store. So, and believe it or not, we actually, and this might sound terrible, but it's the way it is. We found out when we got lead boomerang up and running with the opportunity page, we let our receptionist go. Just didn't need her. She was answering 5 calls a day saying, hey, Joe, this customer wants to get an estimate. So I could handle 5 calls a day, but we were getting 20 to 40. And so forth. So, it's a process to build it and to understand it, how it goes. And I'm a firm believer that I'm probably using 30 to 40% of what lead boomerang can do. Whereas with my iPhone, I'm probably using 5%, or with my laptop, I'm using 5%. So I really feel like I'm getting a lot out of lead boomerang. And I have a State of the Union call with Will here on Friday, and we're going to spend some time and to make sure I'm doing everything I should be doing with lead boomerang to get the most out of it. We're on a roll and we're getting 3 to 5 5-star a week. And, all of our business is not what I like. It's what Google likes. Right, Will?
That's
Does
right.
Google like this? Let's do it. So that's the biggest thing. our automated responses, people will have conversations with our automated responses. God bless them. Oh, thanks so much. Glad to hear from you, Joe. Looking forward to seeing you soon. And you're like, okay, but anyway, no, that's the big thing. And I think the CRM is everything nowadays. That's how the younger people work. They want text messages. They don't want to wait. They don't like phone calls, but so that's the big thing. Good CRM.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan will need to get you some training and get you in there doing more of the stuff. Be happy to do that.
That's what I was just going to say.
How close are you to Big Sky or skiing?
About 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours away. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll figure something out. I'll come out there and ski and teach you how to use lead boomerang.
There you go.
Hey, you know where Yellowstone was filmed, right?
What's that, sir?
You know where Yellowstone was
I
filmed?
couldn't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 20 minutes from that.
That's you.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? How
Yeah.
cool is that? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Very cool. All right. Well, one last question for you guys, and then I want to get, some last thoughts from you. But I'm interested in, what do you see as kind of the future of window treatment industry, where we're going, and what can other business owners do to prepare for what's coming up in Q2 and for the rest of the year?
Wow. Ryan, go ahead and look at your crystal ball first.
Yeah, I think, but I'm fairly certain that automation is going to just be the whole way of the future. You're going to get rid of the pulley strings. You're going to get the automation systems, the motorization systems that are going to be standard. You're not going to have the continuous cord loops, the beaded chains. You're going to just have motorization. And with that, you're going to have different price point motorizations. Hopefully they get rid of the wand systems, but I think that's just going to be kind of the way of the future. Shoot, even films, window films that are going to be, the transparent to the tint. That's going to be a little bit more standardized, I think, especially with the way the Supreme Courts went.
Partner with somebody as soon as you can. Partner with a tent company. We have one, Delmarva Tent, and they give me leads and I give them leads. But yeah, definitely. Sorry for jumping in, Brian, but yeah, I love that tent story.
Go ahead, Joe. Let's see
That's
what
great,
you got.
Joe, how about you and your crystal ball?
I'm right with Ryan. Anytime you can, I think we're going to start getting phone calls, a lot more phone calls about this phone call. I'm building a house and I want to have automation in my house and I haven't broke ground. What do I need to do? So I would become familiar with the low voltage talk, try to get on any type of, whether it's Alta, Hunter, Norman, any type of low voltage talk, be familiar with that, because you're going to get that call and you don't want to go, I think you guys got to run speaker wire. See, I just want to have a little bit of backstory, be able to talk about it, being able to talk about, the distribution box and things like that. But I think that is what's coming. And I think if to be prepared, one of the biggest home builders in my area sells window coverings to the customer. And they're a Hunter dealer and a Norman dealer. And all it's going to take is for these home builders who are so cookie cutter, they're so by the book, they don't want any type of change. Someone's going to tell them, we can make an extra $40,000 a house if we offer somebody a smart home with pre-wired low voltage circuits to these windows. So I would just be ahead of that and be prepared for that. But I think I couldn't agree with Ryan more that automation is going to be everything. I think in 20 years, manual blinds might be gone. 20 years, very good chance. So prepare for that and be ahead of that and have that knowledge in your back pocket when it happens.
Definitely future-proofing your house.
That's great. And I would assume that kind of stuff is increasing the value of your home nowadays, right? For people that are shopping for homes.
Right.
That's great. Well, guys, thank you so much. Before we finish up here, just wanted to get any last thoughts for window treatment business owners that are out there struggling right now and want to obviously build their business over the rest of the year. What kind of advice would you give to them? We'll start with Joe.
No one's going to feel sorry for you. It's a tough world out there. You're not going to be given anything. So become an expert. I'm an expert. Anytime you talk to people, there's two great words to use: is unique and expert. People want unique products delivered by an expert. So those two words are what I try to use all the time. I don't say salesman. I say expert. I don't say, we have blinds. We have some very unique offerings. Separate yourself. But that's, hey, listen, it's not a cash cow. It's work. I can only imagine how far Ryan drives every day, but he's working it and he's doing it. But that would be my tip. Unique and expert are two words I would use as much as possible.
I love that. Ryan is somebody who's been in the industry for about 3 years now. There's people in your shoes, or maybe even a little bit behind there. What advice would you have for them?
Well, technically, I'm fortunate that I have worked in the industry for almost 15 years, but I've owned my own business for now 3.
Yeah.
Biggest thing that I knew from when I went from here to here was honestly switching to my current website provider. Throwing that one out there for you, Will. And
Thanks.
honestly, the marketing, making sure you look professional as a business and as a person. Anyone can slap a logo on the side of your van, but you need to know your product. Go out there, learn from your vendor reps. Get to know your vendor reps, learn from them. Start getting systems in place and getting your business a lot more efficient. So that way you're not spending 4 hours a day in your office grouping orders together because you want to save that $25 on a minimum. Don't jump over $1 to save a dime.
I love that for sure. Love that. Thank you guys so much for some incredible conversation today. I do appreciate it. Joe and Ryan, you guys have been amazing. As a listener, if you've been inspired to take your window treatment business to the next level, start applying some of these strategies right away. These guys have been doing this for quite a while. They know what works. Take their advice and apply, I think, is the best piece here. Apply what you're doing. If you love this episode, send it to a friend. And don't forget to click the subscribe button. We would love to make sure that you can hear all of our future podcasts as well. Ryan, Joe, thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
We'll
Will.
catch you on the next one.
Okay.
Have a good one.